There's a single science-backed habit that primes your brain for peak performance, enhances memory, improves focus, and sets the stage for better sleep. It doesn't come in a pill, and it doesn't require any special gear. All it takes is exposure to natural light, especially within the first 30 to 60 minutes of waking. When you step outside early in the morning and allow sunlight to hit your eyes without sunglasses, but never looking directly at the sun, you trigger a cascade of biological and neurological effects that supercharge brain function. Specialized cells in your retina, called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, detect sunlight and send powerful signals to areas deep in the brain, including the suprachiasmatic nucleus, your central body clock. This light input sets your circadian rhythm, optimizing the timing of hormone release throughout the day. Cortisol, often misunderstood as a stress hormone, is released in healthy doses, improving alertness, concentration, and mental clarity. Meanwhile, serotonin levels rise, which are critical for mood regulation and cognitive sharpness. The downstream effects: better decision-making, more energy, faster learning, and perhaps most importantly, more restful sleep that night, which further reinforces cognitive function. This habit is simple, free, and available to everyone. Just 10 minutes of natural light exposure in the morning can profoundly impact your mental and physical performance. It's not a productivity hack, it's biology. Start tomorrow. Step outside, let the light in. Consistent exposure to natural light early in the day is one of the most powerful yet underutilized tools for enhancing brain performance. When you receive sunlight in the first hour after waking, you set off a chain of physiological processes that directly influence how alert, focused, and mentally sharp you feel, not just in the morning, but throughout the entire day. This isn't just about getting fresh air or feeling energized in a general sense. It's about stimulating very specific cells in the eye, light-sensitive cells that aren't involved in vision but are directly connected to the brain's internal clock. These cells respond primarily to blue light frequencies present in early morning sunlight. When activated, they send a signal to the brain's master clock, which is located in the hypothalamus. That signal essentially tells your body it's time to be awake and alert. In response, the brain begins a carefully timed release of hormones and neurotransmitters that regulate energy, mood, and focus. Cortisol levels rise naturally, not in a stress context, but in a performance-enhancing way. This cortisol spike helps wake you up mentally, sharpen your focus, and mobilize energy reserves. At the same time, serotonin levels begin to increase, a neurotransmitter that supports mood stability, motivation, and cognitive agility. Without this natural light exposure, your circadian rhythm drifts. You may find yourself feeling sluggish in the morning, distracted in the afternoon, and wide awake at night when you should be winding down. Artificial indoor lighting doesn't replicate the full spectrum and intensity of natural sunlight. Even on a cloudy day, outdoor light is several times more powerful than typical indoor lighting. The benefits compound. Daily light exposure at the right time not only boosts your brain short term, it anchors your circadian rhythm for better sleep, which in turn enhances memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and neuroplasticity. In essence, light acts as a master regulator of your brain's timing and performance systems. Incorporating this habit requires almost no effort. Stepping outside for even 10 minutes soon after waking can shift your entire mental state. It's not just an energizing experience, it's a neurological upgrade that sets the tone for optimal function across your entire day. When natural light enters your eyes in the morning, it doesn't just wake you up, it initiates a powerful sequence of neurological events that sharpen mental function and promote long-term brain adaptability. This process begins with the activation of specialized retinal cells that sense light, not for visual purposes, but for sending signals to deep brain structures. These cells project to the brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus, the central clock that governs the timing of everything from hormone release to alertness cycles. But the effects extend beyond timekeeping. They directly impact how your brain processes, learns, and adapts. Early light exposure increases activity in key brain regions responsible for attention, memory, and decision-making. One of the most important effects is the rise in neurochemicals like dopamine and norepinephrine, which modulate mood, focus, and motivation. These neurotransmitters enhance signal transmission between neurons, effectively waking up your brain's ability to take in and respond to information. This heightened state of alertness is critical for learning and productivity. What's even more compelling is how consistent light exposure supports neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself in response to new experiences. By regulating circadian timing through light, you create optimal conditions for plastic changes to occur. Sleep, which is essential for consolidating new memories and neural connections, is heavily influenced by your exposure to light during the day. Morning light essentially sets the stage for better quality sleep at night. And that sleep becomes the foundation for strengthening the neural pathways you use during the day. This interaction between light, alertness, and plasticity means you're not just feeling more awake, you're making your brain more capable of learning, adapting, and evolving. Neural circuits tied to language, reasoning, problem solving, and creativity become more responsive in a well-regulated circadian environment. Even your emotional regulation benefits, as light affects regions like the amygdala and prefrontal cortex, which govern emotional control and executive function. Unlike stimulants or artificial enhancers, light doesn't force the brain into an unnatural state. It unlocks processes that are already hardwired, just waiting for the right environmental input. Simply by stepping outside and allowing light to stimulate your brain each morning, you're setting in motion a natural system of neurological activation and adaptive potential that underlies long-term cognitive health and performance. When you expose your eyes to natural light shortly after waking, you initiate a hormonal cascade that aligns your body and brain for optimal performance. This exposure triggers a surge in specific hormones that influence energy, focus, mood, and sleep without the need for stimulants or synthetic interventions. The process is rooted in how your body's internal clock, or circadian rhythm, responds to environmental cues, and light is the most powerful of those cues. One of the first hormones impacted by morning light is cortisol. Often misunderstood solely as a stress hormone, cortisol plays a critical role in daily energy regulation and cognitive performance. Under natural conditions, cortisol levels are designed to rise sharply in the morning. This cortisol awakening response helps you feel alert and ready to engage with your environment. Morning light amplifies this response, ensuring that cortisol peaks when it should early in the day and then gradually tapers off, allowing for relaxation and sleep readiness by evening. At the same time, exposure to sunlight boosts serotonin production in the brain. Serotonin is essential for maintaining a stable mood, regulating appetite, and enhancing mental clarity. It also serves as a precursor to melatonin, the hormone responsible for initiating sleep later at night. Without sufficient morning light, serotonin levels can remain suppressed, leading to decreased motivation, emotional imbalances, and poor sleep quality. The timing of light exposure is crucial. Getting light early in the day sets the rhythm for the rest of your hormonal cycle. It tells your brain and body, this is day, prepare for activity. Later in the evening, the absence of light allows melatonin to rise naturally, promoting restful sleep. If morning light is delayed or missed altogether, cortisol and serotonin rhythms shift out of sync, often leading to grogginess, mood swings, and disrupted sleep patterns. This system doesn't rely on willpower. It relies on biological alignment. The simple act of going outside and allowing natural light to enter your eyes each morning fine-tunes your hormonal rhythm in a way that enhances mental function, emotional balance, and physical energy. Over time, this alignment supports resilience, productivity, and long-term brain health. It's a foundational tool for anyone seeking to operate at their cognitive and emotional best every single day. Your brain's ability to function at a high level is intimately tied to the timing of your internal clock or circadian rhythm. This rhythm governs nearly every physiological system in the body, from hormone release to digestion, but its most profound impact is on cognitive performance and mental clarity. Aligning your circadian rhythm with natural environmental cues, especially morning light, is one of the most effective ways to ensure consistent peak performance throughout the day. The circadian system is regulated by a group of neurons in the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, located in the hypothalamus. This master clock responds most strongly to light signals received through the eyes. When you expose yourself to natural light early in the morning, you effectively set this clock, sending a clear signal to the rest of your body that it's time to wake up, focus, and perform. This early alignment sets the rhythm for everything that follows: energy levels, concentration spans, reaction times, and even the quality of decisions you make. When your circadian system is in sync, mental performance follows a predictable arc. You feel alert and focused in the morning, cognitively sharp in the early afternoon, and naturally wind down in the evening. Disruptions to this rhythm, such as inconsistent sleep, late night screen exposure, or staying indoors too long during the day, can cause performance to fluctuate or drop off entirely. Symptoms like brain fog, irritability, lack of focus, and poor memory often trace back to circadian misalignment. Aligning your circadian rhythm also improves sleep quality, which in turn reinforces cognitive function. Deep, restorative sleep is when your brain consolidates memories, clears metabolic waste, and strengthens the neural connections that underpin learning. If you fail to anchor your circadian rhythm with morning light, melatonin production may be delayed at night, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep, creating a vicious cycle of fatigue and poor mental performance. By consistently exposing yourself to natural light early in the day, you are giving your brain the time cue it needs to operate in rhythm. This simple practice boosts alertness, stabilizes mood, enhances memory, and sets you up for long-term cognitive health. It's not about forcing productivity. It's about aligning with the biology that makes peak performance possible. One of the most powerful aspects of early morning light exposure is how accessible it is and how quickly its benefits can be felt. Unlike complex routines or costly supplements, this habit requires no equipment, no special knowledge, and no financial investment. It's available to virtually everyone every single day. All it takes is a commitment to step outside and let natural light hit your eyes within the first hour of waking. This practice isn't limited by age, fitness level, or lifestyle. Whether you're a student, a professional, a parent, or someone recovering from burnout, the physiological response to light is universal. The moment sunlight reaches the light-sensitive cells in your retina, your brain begins adjusting its internal systems. Alertness increases, focus sharpens, and your mood becomes more stable. These changes are not subtle. Many people report feeling more energized, more mentally clear, and more emotionally balanced, even after just a few days of consistent morning light exposure. The immediacy of the effect is backed by neurobiology. Light directly influences the release of cortisol and serotonin, two key chemicals involved in attention, motivation, and emotional regulation. This means that within 10 to 15 minutes of being outdoors, your brain chemistry is already shifting toward a state of optimized functioning. Over time, the benefits build. Better sleep, improved memory, greater emotional resilience, and even a stronger immune response have all been linked to proper light exposure and circadian alignment. Importantly, the simplicity of this habit makes it sustainable. It doesn't require drastic changes to your schedule. You can combine it with other morning activities: walking the dog, sipping coffee, stretching, or just standing on a balcony or porch. Even on overcast days, outdoor light is significantly more effective than indoor lighting at triggering the desired neurochemical responses. There's also a psychological boost that comes with starting the day aligned with a natural rhythm. It signals control, presence, and intentionality. You're not reacting to the day, you're setting the tone. And because this habit is grounded in biological science, not trend or hype, it's something you can rely on for long-term results. In a world flooded with quick fixes and overcomplicated health advice, morning light exposure stands out as a simple, effective, and immediately rewarding habit, one that supports both brain and body from the moment your day begins. In a world that constantly seeks shortcuts to boost mental performance, focus, and well-being, the most effective solution is also the simplest: natural morning light. This single daily habit activates your brain, aligns your circadian rhythm, optimizes hormone release, and supports the very foundation of neuroplasticity and cognitive function. It doesn't require a prescription, a subscription, or a radical lifestyle change, just a few intentional minutes outdoors each morning. The science is clear. When you align your biology with the rhythm of the natural world, your brain responds with greater clarity, energy, and resilience. This isn't about chasing productivity. It's about giving your body and mind what they were designed to receive. Start tomorrow, step outside, and let this one habit unlock your full cognitive potential.